reaction. Let me see a little bit of excitement. Use the reaction button if you guys are stoked about today's session. All right, cool. Love it. Keep it coming. Awesome. Briana, thanks for being here. Love to see all these faces from all over the country. Very, very excited about today. All right, guys, it is officially 8:35 on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. To say that I'm excited is an absolute understatement. But I love to see what's happening in this environment and how this environment has grown. A year and a half ago, this room started with 5 people. It was literally a script role play session. They would get together 3 times a week and just go over common objections. We would role play, and then that started to grow. And then 5 people became 10 and 20 and so on and so forth. So look around right now, there's 90 people. You guys have chose to spend your hour with us on this Wednesday. So my intent and my goal is to always try to provide value to you guys, whether it's me or whether it's somebody else that is a guest, to bring high levels of value. So I'm really, really excited about today's session. So we're going to get right into it. But before we do so, I want to give a huge shout out to Vanessa. Vanessa actually made this introduction to me and Minh. I knew who Minh was, but I didn't ever have a conversation with them. But Vanessa actually reached out to him, gave me his contact. We started talking. He came to our event last week in Southern California, and the rest is history. And now he's here going to lead a fire session for us. So Vanessa, I wanted you to bring us out on the field today on this beautiful Wednesday morning. So hype up the team, bring us out on the field, and thank you for making this introduction.
Good morning. You're welcome. It was definitely one of those things where it's like, hey guys, like we all love him. We all know him. I mean, what better way than to have him come into our environment and kind of, shed, some light on what's happening in the field out there for us. And then, yeah, I'm super excited, guys. And I look forward to today's fire ass session and I can't wait.
Awesome. So you guys, here's what we're hearing in our market. When we think about 2 years ago, we mentioned this last week, the word and the conversation was all around pivot. How do we pivot? And how do we control what's going on based on, this health crisis? Well, now today that messaging is all changed. And I think what you're hearing more so now is mastering the dialogue and controlling the narrative, right? That it's not about becoming victimized because of what's happening in the market. It's just being able to shift the narrative and control how we're having dialogue with our consumers. So what I'm excited about today is Minh has a way of, no matter what is happening in the market, telling the story, educating the consumer, and helping us as real estate professionals understand it at a high level, so then we can then convey that message back. So Minh, my man, let's just have a full stream of consciousness today. We'll have some fun. We'll leave some room for some Q&A, but I really want to turn the mic over to you. There's tons of conversations going on right now. Tons of people who just want to hear from you. So without further ado, Minh, I want to introduce you, and let's just go ahead and get this ball rolling. And once again, my brother, thank you very much for taking some of your time and being here with us today. Let's get rolling.
First, I want to say I am honored to be here. I'm so thankful that Vanessa did reach out to me. And I'm looking on this monitor and I'm like rubbernecking left and right because I've never seen so many people on a Zoom. I'm like, is this normal for you? Because it looks like you're breaking records on a Zoom call right now. Man, that's amazing. I've been on a handful of Zoom calls and I haven't seen one with so many people, and then they're engaging. I also see a lot of you guys did comment and jumped in my DMs already, so I can tell you guys are a solid clan. It's not like people are doing their own thing, but you guys are working together, which is a bonus. And it's a big bonus, especially when it comes to social media marketing. And I wish I had a team even like the size you have, and that everyone's moving in the same accord, which is very rare. Sometimes you see teams, there's a bunch of different leaders in the team, but moving in one unit, it's very rare. So you guys have something special. To that, I want you guys to really thank your leadership. Really thank your leadership. With Elias and Kenny, the way they lead, it says a lot about your team. And the way you guys act, it really reflects on their leadership. So you guys are very blessed to have great leaders. So I want to start with that. So I wanted to jump in to talk to you guys. Of course, the market is changing and shifting. And I think more than ever, you need to be on top of your game, on top of your knowledge, on top of what you want to deliver. But most importantly, who do you want to deliver your message to? Okay. So of course, as things are shifting, you need to shift, like Elias said, with the market. Who is your audience? Where are they shifting? What are they concerned with the most? I think a lot of people are not addressing that. You still see people still posting properties. Yes, there was a season when posting properties were big. I'm not saying it's not big right now, but as the market's shifting, there's other concerns. So I think the most important thing right now is to understand their concerns. I think if you don't understand their concerns, how can you deliver a message? If you went into a room with a bunch of vegans, but you're trying to sell hamburger meat, are you going to sell anything? Most likely not, right? Even though everyone was eating hamburger meat forever, but now everyone's vegans. So you need to understand your audience and shift your message towards your audience. So of course, everyone's audience is different. So I think before you jump into any social media marketing, understand your audience. Once you understand your audience, you want to make a list of the pros and cons, what you know about and what you don't know about that your audience might ask you, and start making a list. I make lists. I'm old school. I know some of you guys are iPad, iPhone. I have a notepad I write on, right? I still write on a notepad because there you go, my man, right? Because things shift and change, and then you want to be able to write it down. And then someone might ask you a question that, I didn't think about that. And that's how I get a lot of my content, because the more questions people ask, the more content I get. Well, some of you guys might think, well, I don't have an audience. I don't know who to ask. I don't know what content to dig into. Friends and family. I used to work for a multi-level marketing company like back in the days. And what they did, what I learned from them was I made my list of top 100 people. Then I would email them. Then I would call them, right? It was life insurance. It was with WFG, World Financial Group, long ago. Once I figured out it was a scam, trust me, I stopped, right? But I learned a lot of core values on how to build my list. So before you market or before you start, displaying a message, find out who's your audience, where they pivot to, and write down your list. It's really important that you do that. Why is that important? Because like right now, I'm in Orange County, right? If you notice all my examples, I do everything with a 740 credit score. Why do I do a 740 credit score? I only want to mess with borrowers with a 740 credit score. And you guys, if you know this or if you don't, TikTok is audio based. Instagram is visual based. So if you keep saying something over and over and over again, TikTok will find your audience. Okay. So I want you guys to know that. So of course, before you start releasing audio messages, you want to know your audience. You want to know where they're pivoting to. So I'm always going to deliver something and go back so I can, not beat it in you, but kind of remind you guys, hey, as you guys just put your message together, make sure that you have a strategy, make sure you know your audience, where they're pivoting, and okay, what are you going to deliver? For me, my average loan amount is 600,000 to 900. I sell leads to a specific lender. They have specific programs. I talk about their programs. Also, I broker a handful of deals. So I know not to stay away from jumbo loans and ARMs, right? Even though they're products I answer questions for when people ask, but I don't create scenarios based on ARMs and jumbo because it's out of my market, right? I would say if people go, I want an ARM in or I want a jumbo loan, go to the bank. Go to this credit union. These are the top 3 credit unions to get ARMs from. If you want a HELOC, here's where you go get HELOCs, right? You never want to take on business unless, your model might be different. But for myself, I don't take on business that I'm not an expert at because I don't want to sit there and go, but eat, right? And be stuttering. If you ever go to a doctor and you get an examination and they don't know what's wrong with you and they're just trying different things, you're like, this is my body. Like, why are you trying things? You should know how to fix my problem, right? So again, go back to your audience, pivot, write down your list, and make sure you stay in your zone. Of course, as you progress as a real estate agent and you're entering into different markets, your zone might get bigger and bigger. So if you're a starter though, make sure you just stay in your zone. Is your audience first-time home buyers? Is your audience new construction? Is your audience sellers, right? And then of course, where are these new construction buyers pivoting? Where are these listings pivoting, right? Where are these first-time home buyers pivoting? I have a friend of mine. He's been a real estate agent for 2 years. He's actually part of EXP. His name is Suman Kim. He was not a real estate agent 2 years ago. He's killing it out in Austin. He just does new construction because he has a formula that he gets them into. You guys can look him up. I think he's in Austin, Texas. He gets them into a system, and once he puts them, he gets them into the house, and then he goes on the next one. He just has a system. He does quantity, right? So he only does new construction. That's his model, and that's what he goes after. If it's a traditional sale, he doesn't even mess with it. Why is it? It's outside of his time frame, and now they want to see more houses. He has to show them. It's a lot different than new construction, but that's his model. Okay, so that's what it's important for you guys to figure that out, right? Sit with your team, sit with your leaders. Sometimes it's hard to figure out, well, I don't know what I want. Well, as you start writing, and that's why I write over text messaging on the phone, but some guys might want to do that. When a text message pops up, you get distracted, boom, you start answering the text, or an alert happens. Oh my gosh, you do this. Oh, another alert happens, and then you get distracted. Sit down, get a piece of paper, write down, right? Who's my audience? Where are they pivoting? Okay, is this in my wheelhouse? All right, so what audio words can I say if I'm going to use TikTok to drive that audience? It's going to take a couple of months, okay? And Instagram is all visual. So show something. Show, like, let's say you are picking Oakland, right? Let's say Oakland is your area. Start showing local restaurants while you film. Instagram's not stupid. They're going to be like, oh, this person's always at this restaurant. This person, so they know your audience, and they're going to start driving your audience to you. There's another agent I do business with. She's been a real estate agent for 3 years. And she's part, I forgot what company she's part of. But she's been an agent for 3 years. I don't deal with her directly. My team deals with her. That's how little I know, but I see her strategy, right? She only does TikTok. She's audio, Orange County, LA County. Her name is Kina DeSantis. You can look her up. But when she closes a transaction, she makes sure it's IG ready. So when she closes, there's champagne, there's smokes, there's fire, a little pop with that, with the smoke comes out. But her audience is they're IG type of women that like to flex on the internet, right? They're like the Pinterest era, that Pinterest model. So of course she does it. Of course she posts, they repost it on her page, and they're like, who's that agent? She closed about 50 transactions. She has 4 buyer agents with her. She closed about 50 transactions before the month of May. She's been an agent for 3 years. She's 100% social media, and it's TikTok, not even Instagram. And her TikTok only has 20,000 followers. To close 50 transactions before May in 3 years with only 20,000 followers on TikTok, it's amazing, because her audience is just local. So they say with real estate, unless you plan on changing the world or taking over the world, you don't need a huge audience. You need an audience that pays attention to you. And the only way to do it is to know your audience, know where they're pivoting, put together your game plan, and make sure you focus and you keep pushing on that game plan. It's going to take a couple months. If you don't do that, right now, you can still grow on TikTok. Of course, something else will come out later on, but you can still grow on TikTok right now. I'm a big Instagram person because I'm already on like the Instagram wave. We're averaging 300 followers a day on Instagram. On TikTok, I'm averaging about 50 followers a day. And then on YouTube, about 10 followers a day, because I'm not really putting too much emphasis on YouTube right now. I just know it's a good play, but it's a long play. It just takes a while. If you need business now. For me, I would go TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, which is kind of weird. Pinterest is going to build a big audience, a pretty good audience after a while, and then YouTube. That's what I would do, right? That's what my strategy. Just know that, because sometimes also if you're starting, don't be so overwhelmed. Well, I know people say every platform does things differently. I get it, but you are professional agents as well. Don't overwhelm yourself. Well, I need to change this for this platform, change this for this platform. Just do, your video and then post it on all platforms. Until you can build enough time, you're making enough money, you have enough assistance where you can do multi-platforms differently. But for now, don't overwhelm yourself. Make it easy. Because once you write all that information, producing the content is next. So I think, of course, right now, just go on your phone, make your content, get over being camera shy if you are. If you're not, then it's good. But if you are, you got to get over it. The more you hate doing it, get over it. Some of you guys join the pack together, go karaoke somewhere, right? Pick a bar and go karaoke. Pick a song that you don't know the words to and get on stage. You want to pick a song you don't know any words to, right? The reason why, dude, I thought I knew Baby Got Back until I went on stage and I had to rap it. I didn't know a single word. You start sweating profusively and you get, your face turns red because you get embarrassed. But did you die? No. Did anything bad happen? No, right? But you got to get over it, right? As you're building your data and you're figuring out your borrower, your client, right? Some of you guys might have more clients than other guys, right? Other people, but work together. You have a team. You guys have great leader. You got the 1%er on your team. Are you kidding me? I would, that's like amazing, right? So work together. Like, okay, so make a list of the different types of clients. I'm sure there's different groups, right? There's only a handful of groups. I'm pretty sure there's more, but there's a handful. And then break it apart. Like, I'll share with you guys what I do, okay? I'm not here to offend anybody. If you are offended, right, take it up with Kenny and Elias, right? So I mostly want Republican buyers because I know they're wage earners. They got and they got 401k and they have good credit. Not all, but if you look at my content, I kind of smear Newsom enough, just a smidge here and there, but I have my clientele. I'm building off of it, right? That's who I really believe in certain politics. And because of that, I get a lot of engagement, people arguing back and forth, and that helps my engagement. But I have my audience. I know what I want. I know what they're looking for. That's why I don't deal with talking about credit repair. I don't talk about saving money, right? I talk about how to use your 401k. I do things I know most Republicans, their profile, what fits their profile, how they're pivoting, them being conservative, right? I know they're anti-printing more money right now. So even though I won't say, oh, I'm a Republican, if you're not a Republican, you can't do my pay, you can't, get a loan from me. I don't say those, but you can see how I paint the picture. Of course, I got mad respect for Kenny because I've been on his page. That guy's as honest can be. If you are of the faint-hearted, do not follow his page, right? So that's why he's honest. But see, he's honest and he still has buyers and he still has sellers. So you got to be honest with yourself. For me, I'm not as aggressive, but everyone's strategy is going to be different. So like I said, find out who's your audience, find out where they're pivoting, make your list. Also, make a list of your strengths and weaknesses and get over being camera shy. That's a lot for me to say so far. I can keep going. We A and B test ads all day long. That's like another day. If you guys want to go over Facebook ad, Instagram ads, we tried TikTok ads. It wasn't that great yet for us, but we're building on that. But I hopefully I shared a good amount of information. I would love to get some feedback and I can answer some questions because I know a lot of you guys did DM me and I want to make sure you have an opportunity to get your question answered.
So I'll help kind of moderate some of these questions. So if you guys have questions, take yourself off of mute or just post them down below. But a couple key takeaways for me, and I just wanted to, reiterate some things that you said. I think it was important, like stay in your zone of genius. Like, I think a lot of times what I see is that people want to get certificates for every single thing underneath the sun, and they're not masters at one thing. And so I love like staying in your zone of genius. And then when you talked about Pinterest, I'm curious, like, where do you see Pinterest, the use of Pinterest going in the coming years? Like what do you see on the horizon for Pinterest? Because I think it's underutilized. I don't know anybody on the team right now if that's actually using it. So what is your projections for something like Pinterest, and how do you see that? Because that was the number 3 is TikTok, IG, and Pinterest. So where do you see that going?
So I do a lot of infographics, so information graphs. So Pinterest is a little bit different. We've been doing a lot of infographics, and the infographics I can tell is doing well on Pinterest because our audience on Facebook, not Instagram, our Facebook audience, the views are picking up, and I can tell it's coming off the same infographic. So I like it if you're trying to put an infographic. A lot of them are infographics that go into a video. We're slowly dabbling into a video, but we always do like a picture of something. And of course, it's all about hashtags. So it's a different game. To me, of course, there's strategy you'll figure out with hashtags later on. I would get used to posting, throw a thumbnail on there. Hopefully, I like infographics because we tried videos. It didn't perform as well. People when they look at Pinterest, they want to see what the answer solution is first, and then they will click and push through next. On TikTok and Instagram, of course, they're used to videos. They want to see the video. They're not really scrolling through a infographic unless there's a strong hook. So I think it's just there if you can maintain it. But if you're like, hey, I don't want to get into Pinterest, focus your energy on TikTok and Instagram.
Cool.
One last thing I want to add. So there's like 90 of you guys here. I think is a team 90 or a little bit more, Elias?
No, there's 123 on right now.
Okay, so this is what I want you guys to do to help build up Elias and Kenny as well. Anytime they post something, you want to share within the first 5 or 10 minutes. Help them out as your leaders because it breaks through a barrier. TikTok and Instagram, it's like there's a barrier entrance and it sucks. No matter how much how well you do, if you can't break through the barrier right away, the information doesn't travel. And I want you guys to amongst each other as well. But I know as your leaders, always it gets, it's easier to do it for your leader because you actually like your leader. Some of your teammates, you don't know that well, but your leader, I know you guys love, right? If you guys don't, maybe you need to talk to your leader, right? But when they post something, I see you guys do it all the time with Kenny, like share his information, right? Get into that habit of sharing for one person first, and then eventually share it for your team members, right? It's easier to start to share your leader because your leader is impacting you, but you have to understand your teammate is impacting you because they do well, you do well. It looks good when you're out there promoting yourself, right? Mm-hmm. If you're out there promoting yourself, no one knows who you are, but they've heard of your teammates before, it makes you look good. So get in the habit of sharing. Share, like, comment, engage with each other, right? That's one thing I don't have. So right now, like we have this company called Synergy One. There's about 14 loan officers that they provide the leads for, and they do it here and there. But I know sometimes when I'm on them and they share, I can sell my videos, do better. So of course, but they have to do within the first 5-10 minutes, break through that barrier. Once you break through that barrier, now the second level of people gets to see your content. So right now on my Instagram, so I post 3 times a day. 70% of my viewership on my reels come from new people. So only 30% of each reel is seen by my current audience. So wow. But my first handful of people, I make sure they share it. Once I break through that barrier. So my Instagram really started picking up waves. Like let's say it took me 4 years to hit 25,000 followers, but the last year, it'll be a year in May, I'll hit 100,000. So 75,000 followers in pretty much 2/3 of the year, right? But because I started following specific strategies to do it, and that was one of the strategies I added. So as you're building your content, you're doing all that, you know your audience, you pivot, you know what you're gonna do, give yourself a little boost amongst your team members and help boost the information out there.
Man, I absolutely love that.
You cannot be afraid. Well, if I share Otis's information, if they like Otis more than they like me, then your stuff ain't good and you got to work on it. Don't be afraid to share Otis's information, right? Or Tim or Mike, right? Yeah. Or Chris Edwards. Don't be afraid. Work together. This is teamwork. Even though you guys are individual agents, you guys are on a team for a reason. And I'm telling you guys are stronger together. And I'll tell you guys, I can be transparent with you guys. I look at the agents, the lenders that have surpassed me significantly, right? I've started way before them, but they got a squad like Neil Holmes. He's got but I can tell they do some bots. So I don't want to get into that yet, but I can tell when you look in their comments, they have a lot of people who do marketing with them engaged, but it drives up their audience. So when they do find a buyer, this guy's 100,000 followers. Okay, I can somewhat pay attention to their message, right? Same thing with Matt Garland, the mortgage guy. I talk to that guy a lot. He's on every educational platform for the Black community, Black education, right? It's got it was called Earn Your Leisure. So he does a lot, but he's also DJ Envy's lender for hard money when they do flips and seminars. But these guys work together and share their information. And they share. He's at 200 something followers, right? But I'm cracking mine right now is because I'm getting more into strategy, but I got to a place where I can spend time on strategy. Like literally, I'll watch the same video like 30 times. I'm like, okay, why did this video do good? Mine didn't. I did the exact same thing. I'll stare at it. I'll watch it in slow frames. I'm like, okay, I'm a crackhead like that, right? If but I have time to do that. If you are busy doing your thing right now, you need to work together, right? Like Vanessa, Briana, you're like, hey, how do we do this together? All right. Every time you post, girl, I'll post. All right, cool. High five, girl power, right? Work together. So if you guys do that, you guys will see success sooner than later. Because I think it's all about up your psychology and your momentum. Everything moves with momentum. When you feel like you're doing something and you don't feel something right away, you're like, oh, should I do it again? Yes, stick through it. But if you have momentum with you, it helps out a lot. It helps out a lot. It makes it a little bit easier.
Man, I absolutely love this. Let's get to some of these questions. Daniella, if you want to take yourself off of mute and just fire a question off. Daniella going once, Daniella going twice. All right, so my man, she had a question. Do you link the infographic to your video, another social media platform, or your website?
Right now, I'm pushing it to social media. My website, I'm working on the website. Our website does get a lot of views. Reason why I like to go to another video, because they start going through videos. Unless your website is functional where people can move around, you have your videos on your website, then yes, if you have a lot of content on your website so people can search and see other things on your site, download a guide. If you have a guide you're giving away, like we have a ultimate mortgage guide, seller guide, buyer guide, we have all these guides, we give it away. It's worth it if you're going to drive them there and you have other things on your site so you can offer something for a download, right? You want to get a download. Every week we push our guides through our Instagram pretty frequently. On Pinterest, we'll do it here and there. We'll put our DTI cheat sheet. You can download it off our Ultimate Mortgage Guide. So if you have something like this, then yes. If you don't, then of course it's easier if you have more videos on your page that people can, okay, I build trust with this person and there's call to action on their video. Okay, let me message them.
Love it, love it. Vanessa, you had your hand up.
Sorry.
Oh, is that Daniella?
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
Hi. Sorry, I have a sleeping child here, but whatever. She should be waking up anyway. I love it. So then you add the link when you use Pinterest, because I agree, it's a platform that's very underused by, like, say, us, but it's the probably the #1 search engine of social media, because everyone's on Pinterest trying to find new ideas for parties, for whatever. So I love using that. So then you're saying you link it to either wherever you have the most activity, right? Say socially. So either your platform or maybe even like a freebie, right? That's what you mean by sharing like a guide, like a download.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
You ever go to the store? There's only one shirt in there. If you see that, once you see the walk by the one shirt, you walk out, right? You got to have other shirts in the store,
right?
For you. And they put all the good goods in front, but then you go trickle in and they'll put something else good like in between. Then they pull you into the store, right? Then you see that clearance sign in the back, and all of a sudden, gotcha.
Do you have a favorite platform for, like, say, landing pages to create freebies? Because I think that's something that my teammates and I should definitely do. I've used like MailerLite in the future, but do you have a specific platform you like to use for like downloads?
That is a great question. I don't deal with that anymore. My team does. So I'm going to write that one down really quick and I will email you guys what I'm using. I actually have a tech deck that we present. So I can send you my tech deck and it tells you what we're using and all that other information.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elias. And thank you for
everybody.
We
used to use ClickFunnels, but we kind of got over it. But we use ClickFunnels a lot.
Okay, cool.
I can't wait. And once I get this, you guys will share it with everybody. And Daniella, thank you for showing up and being here and contributing always. Vanessa, let's go over to you. And you guys, if you have a question, something that's brewing in your mind, you have some thoughts, some insights you want to share, make sure to raise your hand. But let's go to Ernesto next.
Hey, man, good morning. This piggybacks off of Daniella's question. Something you just mentioned is team. So when you think about your own journey of like scaling up your social media, who was your first hire? Like, who do you recommend be your first resource that a solo agent take on to help just get some leverage with their social media?
I think an assistant to help you with the business. You should do like I started and I had like I had a graphic designer and I had a someone video and edit. And I saw the money I wasted on that. I not say I wasted, like, yeah, I did waste on, just being transparent with you guys just last year in the room. I wasted on that when I could have used that money to either run ads or have someone else help me with the business. Because at the end of the day, if I need to put more energy into my content, because I relied on them when they were sick or something was wrong, or I times were tough. I had to let go of one of them. I became crippled, right? Let's say I had to let go of someone that helped me with my mortgage. I know how to do mortgage. I'm not crippled. I'm not codependent. It created such a huge codependency to depend on people. Now I had a person who was working with me. They passed away. They pretty much helped push me through the business. He ran my ass. He almost did everything for me. He did everything for me. We hired 3 of his friends. And for his legacy, we kept 3 employees on. They work 1 day a week, 2 days a week. But because I do a lot of the social myself now, so if I had to do it all over again, I would do all the social myself, hire someone to help you with the business.
Interesting. So you realized that your zone of genius was like content creation, and so you wanted to delegate like all the admin stuff.
I suck at content, like ideas I'm good at because I know the business. But you don't need to focus on, you need like a great camera, all this editing. A lot of it now is on TikTok. People message me, especially the older agents. Hey, how did you do that? What editing software you? It's filters on TikTok, right? The more people you keep hiring, the more you keep overthinking it.
I love this. I love this. Good stuff. Anything else on that topic, Ernesto?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, cool. So, all right, guys, let's take advantage of this time. Let's go to a couple of the questions. Jeff, if you can, go ahead and contribute. You have your hand up, brother. And if you can, take yourself off or put your camera on. There's your beautiful face. Let's hear it, big dog.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I was taking the baby to the dentist, so now we off to school. But thank you so much. Session's been so fire. I had a quick question. I was listening to your live the other day, and you were speaking about closing costs. So I was wondering if you could go back over that, because like a lot of times right now, what we are telling clients is, date the rate and marry the house. And so just going into the process of like refinancing and doing that aspect, just so that we can be better equipped. Because I know you were saying like a lot of lenders will tell you it's free, but then when you go into it, it has to be higher based off that. And I was wondering, like, is there a way to partially pay for your closing costs where you don't have to refi at a higher amount to take into account the free part? But also love to give flowers while people are here to smell them. Thank you so much for all your content. I'm always following you. Appreciate you, brother.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. So the debate right now, right? Do you do a price reduction, or you buy down the interest rate? Of course, different strokes for different folks. You want to be able to present the information to them. To me, I probably wouldn't want to do the refinance. Of course, every lender, and I'm telling you this myself, lenders make money on refinancing. So trust me, it benefits me that they refi. But I don't want to be there sweating a brick, waiting for like, hey, rates need to drop enough for me to give them a free refi. So let's say they got a 5.5. It would need to drop to 4.75 and cover closing costs for the consumer to be happy, because you told them a free refi. I'll just take the deal. It's going to be a free refi later on, and you have a lower balance because you did a price reduction. But we don't know when that's going to happen. Let's say rates drop and it doesn't happen. They do want to refi. Well, typically when they do a refi, and depending on what month it funds, you got to collect new impounds. So that they got to come out of pocket and then wait for a refund. Some people can afford that. Some people don't want to stress about that. There's title, escrow. The most the lenders are going to do is maybe waive their lender fees, but there are still costs to refinancing it. Don't forget your impounds, they're your costs. Lenders probably won't cover that. They're not going to, it's just a lot to come out of pocket, especially after you own a home. Most people who do own a home already in a refi, they do not want to come out of pocket. And then when you have to like increase their loan amount to cover it, that means they need equity. So you just bought a home 6 months ago. The market's slowing down. So you got to bank on having enough equity to bump up the loan amount to refi. And then the rates got to drop enough for you to increase the rate or ask the borrower to come out of pocket. Well, you took the price reduction already, right? But it's easier to just buy down the rate and not stress about it. So, to me, the reason why I work that way, just like I said, my friend Sumin, it's the right thing to do. And I don't have to stress about that borrower. I'm a lender that's been around long enough to not stress about refinance. I really don't care about the refi. I care about doing a good job on the purchase to get the next referral. And it's an assembly line for me, because if I have 10 people, oh, rates are dropping, man, can I refi? Can I refi? And then refi, oh, well, you ran my credit, but then this other lender, they bought trigger data and they bought the data, and now you're competing. You're dealing in this whole refi battle. And with the whole refi market dying now, the reason why it doesn't bother me, I focused all my energy in the last couple of years, like since 2008 when the market crashed, on purchases. So it's not really affecting me, because everyone who were focusing on refis and then promising to refi later on, they're going to be caught back in this refi game, and they don't get to service their clients better when they do purchases.
I love it. Is that clear for you, Jeff? You good?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Awesome.
You're
We're going
welcome.
to go over to Otis White. Otis White, my man, go ahead and take yourself off of mute. What's your question, contribution? Let's hear from you.
Right on. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Thank you, man. I've been on it tough with you for the last 3 days. Last night was fire. Wanted to know your thoughts with the forgivable equity loan program, the income levels being added up a little bit more, and with the struggle of some first-time home buyers still trying to be in the fence in this market. Do you see anything changing for them in the way of getting them help into that down payment
Forgivable
assistance, or anything like that?
The forgivable equity, it's still at 80% AMI. I've seen one borrower qualify because they brought in their own partial down payment. So they didn't need the program. They got an inheritance, so they had money to buy down the loan amount, or to get a lower loan amount to make sure they qualified under the AMI. So guys, if you guys don't know, it's the forgivable equity loan. So they will give you 10%. And out of that 10%, you can use 5% for down payment, 5% for closing costs. But the money can only be given if you qualify under a certain income limit. And that income limit, it has to be under 80% of the AMI, the area median income. And it is really hard to be under that amount and actually qualify to buy a house, because prices are so high and the rates are so high on it. So they're not making changes yet. I know some people have, reached out already to Cal HFA. I don't see them budging. I do check, because someone said it might go up to 100% AMI. You'll be in the ball game in Central California at the 100% AMI and just pockets of California, but it would be hard for the mass majority of Californians.
Love
Nice,
it.
thank you.
Ilana, you had a question. Let's hear from you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
One of your videos actually got me to follow you, and you were talking about dropping your PMI if you're in an FHA loan. And I actually reached out to your company to talk about it. You wanted to set a Zoom call with me, and I got to see how you follow up, which was really great, because I started talking to someone over text as soon as I kind of reached out. But I was wondering if you have any information about that for people, so that, because I have a lot of people asking me about refinancing, or can I drop my PMI? And then we're talking about how rates are going up. So people are feeling really stuck in that department. And I'm wondering if you can give me just some nuggets on what you were talking about, because that was my favorite video you had.
So with an FHA loan, unless rules change, for the rules right now, if they put 10% down, when they buy with an FHA, on the 11th year, the PMI falls off.
And that's if you buy now.
Yeah, if you bought, like, let's say you bought a home with an FHA loan, right? And you put 10% down, on the 11th year, the PMI falls off.
So it falls off on its own. You don't have to do a streamline or anything?
On the 11th year, correct. But you got to buy the home with an FHA loan with 10% down.
And on the 11th year, it will fall
Yeah.
off.
And
Okay.
on conventional, traditionally, once you have 25% equity after 2 years, you can call your lender. They'll verify that you have, they'll do a BPO to make sure you have the equity, and then they'll remove your PMI. Or if you pay down the house 20 to 22% from the original purchase price. But of course, some lenders, like if you do greater than a 5% down, let's say you do 10 or 15% down, they might do it less than 2 years. They might do it after 1 year having 20% equity. It depends on the down payment when you start off the purchase.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So you guys, we got time for 2 more questions. Anybody else have a question that they want?
I want to do something, one last thing for Otis. Otis, you there? So with these Cal HFAs, of course, the market is softening. If you are going to show these properties would have down payment assistance, instead of getting a price reduction, use that money to cover the closing costs. So if you use that money to cover the closing costs, you can take the lower Cal HFA rate, and then that will allow a borrower to get in at a little bit easier with less out of pocket. So let you come out of pocket a couple $1,000 or maybe 1%. You work on the numbers. Anything over 2 weeks, you can tell the agent is a new agent that's kind of has the jitters. You might be able to, put some heat on them, negotiate the price. Because right now, guys, it's important that you know this. Remember, the loans that closed up into mid-June have high comps. If price keeps coming down, you can ask for closing costs, but you might not get it if the home doesn't appraise. So think about this. In the next 2-month window, you have strong comps holding up higher values. So if you want to negotiate closing costs, price reductions, buy now PMI, buying down the rate, renovations, or any rehab stuff, this is the time to do it because values are there to hold up the purchase price, right? It won't be there because as more and more homes come down in price, you're going to start losing value and there's less negotiating power, which people don't think about.
That's
Does that help you out?
money right there. Yes, sir. That's big money right there because you're starting to see it. We got a lot of that last week in that mastermind, this being almost a decade where you ain't seen no sellers willing to negotiate. So I think the power of negotiation is really strong right now.
Cool. All right.
100%. So one question, 2 people wanted a question on this. Do you utilize Facebook ads? And then Cynthia said, Facebook ad chat, please. Great question. So do you utilize Facebook ads currently?
Yes, I do. So we spend, I won't, since you guys are asking your group and, like I said, I love being transparent with you guys. We spend about 75 grand a month on Facebook ads.
Whew.
75 grand a month. We run ads from Kern County down to San Diego. You're going to see this round face everywhere. You make sure, if people don't recognize me at Disneyland, I didn't do a good enough job.
That's right.
Just like Kenny and the benches, I'm all about Facebook ads, but I let Facebook decide if they want to run the ad on Facebook or Instagram. Before I used to pick Facebook, I say the Facebook audience still today has well qualified borrowers. But you got to yank them through the internet to get them to pull the trigger. It's a little more old school. Instagram, you're going to comb through a little bit more, but they're ready to apply, though they're willing to run credit with someone they just met on the internet. It's a different audience. But yes, we run a lot of ads. We do a lot of A and B testing. We do a lot of we pick content that has done well for us, and I'll film it twice. I'll film it with just call to action, follow my page, and then I film it with if you enjoy the content or you need more information, please DM me, call me, or text me, and we'll run we'll A and B test if it does well, and we'll run it as an ad. Man,
I love this. So I had a question before we come full circle on this,
but you don't need money up front, so don't be I don't have that type of money. Relax. It took time to get there.
So one last question here, and then I have a thought for you. How did this hour go by? So we'll probably try to do something, in the future, maybe do another mastermind, because I think that we could probably have this conversation for hours and hours. But I had a question for you, and this came up last week in our session in Southern California, in a matter of opinion. But I think that when you said that, hey, that you want to speak to Republicans, that you don't mind the kind of that negative, engagement, because it's all engagement. So when you're giving advice to somebody that's building on social to really be able to speak their opinion, how do you help someone? How do you coach someone through that to be able to walk in their own purpose and be able to say, you know what, I'm going to speak my opinion no matter what. And if you don't like it, when did that start to develop? My opinion matters. I'm going to share it. And if you don't like it, I don't care. Talk us through that, bro.
You got to be honest with yourself. End of the day, you got to live with yourself. And if you're not honest with yourself, you're going to be fake out there. It's going to start eating away at who you are as a person. And that's one reason why I left Loan Depot. When you actually hold back, of course, there's certain things you shouldn't say, but you guys know what I mean. I felt like I should have started TikTok a long time ago, but when I worked for Loan Depot, they wouldn't let me do it. And it held me back. And I look where other people are at who are honest with themselves. They're way further than where I am today. And the more honest I got with myself, the better my content got. When you want to work with the people that want to work with you, and you want to work with the people that have the same thing in common with you. I call it the Me Too. I don't know if you guys are single guys out there. When you talk to a girl, oh my gosh, me too, me too. You can't say me too and fake it. To a certain extent, you can. But you want to be genuine when you're like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm all about. And the people who share the same qualities, same characteristics that you have, the same things in common, they'll start engaging with you. And that's how you build your audience. You don't got to win the whole world. You just got to win a handful of them. And trust me, I know you're special, but the same things you like, someone else is going to like too. Don't think because you like something, no one else is going to like it. I'm going to keep this to myself. One guy, he does like, was it Kenny talked about the guy who said anime, right? I like anime. I'm like quiet about it. When that person talked about it in the last week, I'm like, oh my God, what's your page? Let me follow you. Like, I want to know, like, you know, I'm an anime geek, you know? So just be honest with you. You need to start being honest with yourself first. I think the only debate, profanity or no. I've built my channel so long with no profanity. When I use profanity, it's no bueno. That's why I sneak it in here and there when I'm passionate. I say it in stories. But because I've built my page for so long, when I start adding that in, people go like, who's this? I don't know you, you know, but I built my page that way for so long. That's the only thing I would probably wrestle with. But who you are as a person, you're special. There's other people who are going to believe in you, you know, you just got to put yourself out there.
Yeah, I love this. I absolutely love this. So you guys, if you guys thought that this session was incredible, you took a lot of value out of it, let's get some reactions down below, because my man, this was absolutely incredible. So I just want to thank you. And I want to thank all of you guys. Today is a milestone for Fast Real Estate. We had 126 people in for group coaching at one time today. It is a record number. The highest we've hit is 122. So thank you guys for showing up and just participating and being here and contributing at the highest level, because this is about the collective wisdom. And I'm super, super grateful for you guys. So I want to hear from a couple people. We have some guests on the line today. I want to hear what some of your key takeaways were. Briana Francis, I want to ask you, we met at an event in Austin, or excuse me, in Dallas a couple weeks back. And she's, you know, growing her business, asked her to come here. So Briana, what was some of your takeaways from today's session?
Yes, I have a notepad as well. So definitely, who's your target audience? That's really just, I mean, it's a simple concept, but we often we want to appeal to everybody, you know, first time buyers, people with money, it's, you know, because especially when you first get started, you want any and all business. So give me some renters, and people are like, why? Dude, chill, you know. So find out who your target audience is. And we were talking about that kind of yesterday, obviously getting more front of face on social media and not just posting houses, because no one wants to see that, you know. And it's so evident when I get 8 likes on a property and I'm nerding out over it because I'm like, this is so gorgeous, and everyone's like, no. So that's something I've been seeing a lot more. So I have a lot of video ideas that will get me front of face, but are informational. You know, so stuff like the 401k, you know, people don't know about that. There's just different things too, that if you are currently renting, you know, there's a lot of property management companies that will actually start reporting your rental income to the credit bureau to help you build your credit if you're not quite there yet. So some tips for first time buyers. So first of all, navigating who's your target audience. Is it first time buyers? Is it people with already primary residences who want to sell and then purchase? Because that's always nice. Yeah. So that, and then just consistency on social media, consistency with not only your words and your messages, but branding. And that's something I'm still configuring, branding colors, keeping a consistent color scheme, you know, having something that catches your eye but isn't too much. So those are some of the major takeaways. And Pinterest. I never thought about that. Pinterest. Right. Look into that.
Great stuff and great takeaways, Briana. There's this girl down in Southern California. She launched this a couple years back. It was the No Renter Left Behind movement. And she solely focused her business on going after renters that were paying an average of $2,500 or more every single month in a certain area. And that's how she built her business. She gathered them around. They did, you know, buyer seminars. They educated them early on and worked with them until they're ready to buy homes. So that's understanding your audience and speaking directly to that audience. So that's good stuff. Mel, you had your hand up. Key takeaways from today's session, and we'll go to one other person and we'll wrap up. Mel going once. There you are.
Yeah, I wanted to say this was awesome. Minh, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've been following you on Instagram for a very long time. So I think you being here is super, super valuable for a lot of us. I also wanted to introduce a guest that I have on the line. Her name is Moreno, and she's new to this environment. So I just wanted to hear maybe some of her takeaways and see, you know, how this call affected her as well.
Hi, Melody. Thank you guys so much for having me today. So as I don't know if you guys know, but I'm actually with Team PRG out of San Jose. And I actually met Melody last week at the Market Shift mastermind, and I thought it was great. I picked up a lot of things from Minh today. I also follow you on Instagram. I've only been in the industry for about a year now, but I've learned a lot, and I'm thankful to kind of just network and learn more as I go. Definitely, I have to step up my game on Instagram and on TikTok when it comes to real estate. I'm more of a personal person on social media, but now I'm having to shift it over to more real estate related content.
Beautiful. Well, welcome here. Welcome and thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go to one last person. Let's go to Christina Pineda. Christina Pineda, key takeaways from you, and let's have you kind of close out our session from today. It's good to see you. You're muted. Boomer. Still muted. You're still, there you are.
Okay. So, okay, so as we all have gathered so much, I mean, I love our team. We always come together. I mean, as you guys all see, I mean, from, I guess, the Brentwood office to the Oakland office, like our team has really collaborated a lot on open houses. I really love how everyone gets together and we're always reposting stuff. So, I mean, the more and more that we can bring that to light and just light it up, like Kenny always says that, Elias always says that. And it really does trickle down. I mean, whether we go to new home constructions, developments, or just even just out doing business, when it relates back to Team Fast, it's so powerful. And I've embraced that from day one. I mean, you guys tag Kenny, tag Elias, tag the Team Fast IG now, and it just really speaks high volumes because we are such a mega team. I've used the word mega in a lot of my presentations now. And when people ask me, why do I choose you or why you? The first thing I say is a mega team. And truly, we all collaborate, and that's what I love. So thank you for mentioning that. We should really share each other's stuff. There's definitely a lot of empowerment through that. And I follow this guy too. He's a lender genius. We all laugh, we all giggle, we all share his stuff, I'm sure. Because I mean, when I miss it in the morning, I go back and repost it in the evening. So thank you, Elias. Thank you, Kenny, for hosting these Wednesdays that have been really powerful and just sharing people in the industry that could really bring us the gems.
Well, once again, thank you guys. When I say grateful, like I am beyond grateful for the opportunity to serve you guys, to be here. Minh, super grateful for your time, your effort, your energy. Thank you for coming to our in-person session. Thank you for being here and sharing with the team. You guys, we're going to continue to grow. We have Chelsea Peets coming in a couple months. We have Giselle Aguarte coming on. We have Curtis Johnson. We have Veronica Figueroa. We have some major players in the industry that are going to come here for you guys to drop some game and to help elevate. So thank you guys for spending the time with us. Let's go out there and crush our week. And if there was one thing that you guys can take action on today, write that down and do it. And I think one thing that I can encourage everyone to do is just find their zone of genius, find their target audience, focus on that, and then now start building your campaign. Makes things a lot easier. And Minh, I really appreciate you saying that because it helps to compartmentalize all the agents' thoughts. So you guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll be posting this on our YouTube channel. I'll be posting on Instagram if anybody wants it. So thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you guys. Go out there and crush your day. Peace.